What's up, man? James Windsor Smith, how are you? Um, I've got the cover for my comic, and I had not figured out what I want to do on the back cover, so I had a silly idea I'm gonna just fart around with to kind of make it look like it's like a wraparound cover, front and back. So we'll see how this goes. What's going on in your art world there, Mr. James Windsor Smith?
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
Dennis the Menace.
Bluetooth connected.
That's definitely different. I used to read those comic strips in the newspaper all the time, and just out of habit. And I was like, I never found them funny, but I kept reading them incessantly. But a lot of those old comic strips were never funny. I read BC and Blondie and Garfield, never funny, but read them every day that I could get my hands on them when my dad bought a newspaper. Yeah, all those artists were really good.
At Smith's Pharmacy, we accept most insurance plans, so you can get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccine.
Yeah, Mad Magazine. I didn't appreciate it when I was younger. It wasn't until I was much older and had long since tossed all the Mad magazines that I had that I was like, you know, that was some really good stuff. for. There we go.
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
I can ask. What is my car to? Only pay for June.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Commercials. Fucking commercials. John Ironfield, my day's been fine. Just nice to be starting the weekend. What do you mean by shade? Like, define that. What you mean by shade? Like, pencil tones? No, absolutely not, because I want to do black and white comic art, and so I render these things to be, inked, and so I give them shadows and cross hatching to give it, shape and form and gradients, but I don't ever do like, pencil smudging to give it tones. It's not anything I'm interested in. I've done it before, and it's not my favorite thing. So Todd, how do I do commissions? Well, I don't get hit up for commissions very much. It's extremely rare. And I just kind of play it by ear, meaning I'll ask someone, like a person, like they ask about commissions. What do you charge? I'm like, well, what do you want? What is it you're looking for? Are you looking for, a single character, a full character? You're looking for pencils, just inks, rough sketch, finished drawing? And I try to get an idea of what people want. And then once I kind of know what they're after, then I will kind of price it out from there. And then I will do some sketches and, to kind of give them an idea of what I'm thinking this will look like, and then kind of get approval. And then once I got that, then I'll move on. If that kind of answers your question. Ms. Addie, how are you? Plucking your brows. That sounds miserable. But yeah, Todd, I hope that kind of answers your question. It's kind of, I guess it's not exactly vague, but yeah, I don't really have like some guys got like a process down. Like, I charge this much. This is what it is. But, I just kind of want to know what people are into, what they want, and then what kind of expectation they've got, and maybe what kind of budget they've got, and I've never plucked my eyebrows, Addie, so I couldn't relate. I don't know if I want to either. You got 2 commissions and you did 15 roughs. Damn, man. I mean, that's the way to do it. Just like give them plenty of options, and then, you know, the ultimate goal is to make them happy so that they are happy to pay, and then communicate that on to the next person. Addie, I am impressed that you caught that through the noise and the distortion. You were exactly correct. Correct. Todd, you have anger issues. You go right to. Huh. 15 drafts isn't anger issues, it's valid crash out. What's my favorite snack? I don't know. That's a big Twinkie. Some people think I'm too intellectual. I also play racquetball. Do you have any hobbies? I collect spores, molds, and fungus. That's fascinating. Yeah, Janine is a great. She's one of the better characters of that movie. I've quit better jobs than this. Panda. I now know that your name doesn't list your regular name, so now I can identify it. It's a good way of thinking about it, Todd. Yeah, someone's come to you for commission, you should probably at least assume that this guy knows what he's doing. At least in theory, right? Really, Panda? That just makes no sense. I do not get that at all. You capitalist pigs. You capitalist. Capitalist. Where did this man learn to cook? Afghanistan?
Subscribe today and join thousands of other individuals, travelers, and businesses who enjoy the security.
Outlaw Wayne. How's it going? What is this damn thing? Hey Todd, did the people seek you? I mean, were you trying to find commissions, or did somebody just kind of run into you and be like, "Hey, I like the cut of your jib," and asked you if you'd just do something for them? Todd just hopes I give him a solid review on his fan comic, which is coming out tomorrow morning. But thank you, Mr. Todd. Oops. OK Comics comes in a screaming. Yeah, Addy, that was the music when Joker, I think he'd ran into Vicky Vale at the gosh darn, the restaurant, museum, art gallery, whatever the hell it was. Todd, every time you see me do layouts, you could just never do them. I've tried. I just need to go straight to finishes, even when I get it wrong and have to redo it. I've tried to do things different ways, different approaches, but I found like doing things like this is just better for me and how I kind of put things together. You know, it doesn't always work perfectly, but this is my favorite musical cue when he runs away with her in the Batmobile and then accelerates. No, it's not the X-Men, but I am intentionally kind of borrowing from
So here's my hair before.
some Jim Lee
And
poses.
here is my hair now that I found this.
Tired of hair dryers leaving your head?
Yeah, okay, comics. I've kind of moved into working that way, especially now that I've been working with Chuck. I pencil most everything. Well, anything I pencil for him, I try to make it as clean as I can. But then, even when I'm going to do it myself, I'm usually doing the same kind of clean pencils. I've just kind of learned to like that process. Oh yeah, Chuck was showing me his step-by-step process on that Isaac Bell cover every step of the way, because he kind of felt bad for a second because he was working on my stuff, and then he just kind of hit Isaac up just on a whim, like, "Hey, do you have high-res pencils of that? I'd love to try inking it." And then he was kind of bouncing back and forth. And I said, if you want to stop and stop working on my stuff and get that one done because you're clearly vibing on it. And Chuck said he spent more time on the inks on that than he has almost anything ever, and it's one of his kind of favorite things he's done. He felt like he really kind of nailed what he was going for, and I agree. I think it looks pretty dang good. But he put in a lot of in fact, when he was done, he was kind of burned out. He was like, I gotta recharge. This is a lot of work. He put in a lot. It was not like a 1 or 2 day job. He spent many hours over many days. And I'm glad to see, burnout is real. Yeah. I'm glad to see that Isaac was putting it towards something. Because, Chuck just did it without an agreement, as far as I understand, that it would be used for anything. But Chuck put in all his effort, and you'd kind of be dumb to not, at least put it somewhere, considering that you could say, this is inked by a guy who used to work for Jim Lee. Chuck has inked Jim Lee once and J. Scott Campbell once, and then several of the other Wildstorm artists many times. Kind of a big deal. Seems like it helped everybody all around. Oh, over here, Ms. Addie. No, he's not an alien guy. He's think of him as a 7-foot tall giant wolf man, but he puts his hair up in these I don't know how to describe it. It's like a ponytail, but one starts on the top of his head up here like this, and then one is kind of midway, and then one goes down the back of his head in 3 little poofy things going down the center line of his head, and he's got a big, long, giant braided beard. It's a big, violent wolfman creature thing. But I could see what you were kind of seeing there. Maybe I should make him into a alien thing. Yeah, that's kind of like a mohawk with ponytails. That's a pretty solid way to kind of describe it. It's kind of like if you've seen the Force Awakens and the way they had Rey's hair, but these are like poofy, standing upright kind of things. My sketch has cured your burnout. Well, if it helps you get drawing and gets back into the motions, then I will feel like today has been a good day. Estrella, how's it going? Yeah, that's really all it is. It's just practice, practice. Panda, you gotta tell that the female character in the middle is gonna look awesome. It's kind of hard to take a, female character that's in like a superhero comic and then have her like flexing her arms up like that and not have it look kind of hot no matter what you do. Corey Sims, how's it going? Astray, how long have I been drawing? I mean, since I was a early teenager, around 12 or 13 is when I started, and I'm coming up on 49, so I am ancient.
When we opened Kawasaki in 2018, we immediately knew we needed a great supplier for non-dairy milk alternatives. We got this underground. Good as well, and they've been great since day one. We love everything about the company so far. The service is unmatched. Every time if there's any issue at all, we contact them and
Earth's mightiest subscribers. There you go. Yeah, Addie, you should sketch it. As always, I wish there was a way, to be able to see the work you do, but until that day is possible. Estrella, there's no end game. There's no, if you do it for this long, you'll suddenly be good. You just have to be passionate about it. You have to want to do it. And then if you want to do it, then it's just something you find yourself doing because you have to. It's more of to be an artist, to be a good one. I think it's not so much that you want to do it, it's that you have to do it. And then you just gotta draw, or whatever it is you're pursuing in terms of art, and eventually you'll start figuring it out. Yeah, there's no end to this. You just, as an artist, you just keep creating and then hating what you created and telling yourself that you'll do better next time. And then you run into other people who seem to do nothing but perfect stuff every time. And then you're like, well, I'm just a miserable failure, because when I see the artists that I really love and see how well they do it, and then you try to do the same thing and it just doesn't work, you just want to scream. But that's where the need to do it, not the want to do it, but the needs, and you just keep coming back. You're like, I'm going to keep going because I can't not do this. This is a requirement for me. My existence requires me to create. Todd, while I'm thinking about it, make sure you send me a message on Instagram if you can when you have a moment. I assume you have an Instagram. I want to link that. I've got your eBay page in the description of that video and your Facebook page. But what else do you want me to link? You know, what else do you want to have links to? God. Yeah, I've got that in there. I got that link from when you sent it to me the other day. And then I know but you know, it's like your different social medias have different names. It's not just your name. Like your name here isn't exactly saying Todd Ferguson. So I'm like, rather than like wondering and searching and hoping I found the right thing, I'm just like, just hook me up with the link so I can make sure to send eyes your way as much as possible. Yeah, this is when they're up in the bell tower. When Batman's fighting the thugs. It's as though we were made for each other. Beauty and the Beast. Of course, if anyone else calls you Beast, I'll rip their lungs out. When she started distracting the Joker. Purple. I love purple. Did you ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight? Who is the more attractive female character in the first Batman movie, the Vicky Vale, or in Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman? Addie will be the judge of this. I tend to agree there, Mr. Panda. But Vicky Vale, when she was in her apartment with Bruce Wayne, when he come to kind of confess, she had that like black dress on and that single braid in her long blonde hair. I was like, oh, this is 89, so I'm 12. Trick question. It was George Clooney. Oh, I've been found out. But yeah, Kim Basinger with that single braid and that black dress. I was like, yeah, my young self was feeling all kinds of ways. The absolutely fabulous Dr. Chase Meridian. She enjoys getting her hair done and foolishly hopes to be the love of Bruce's life. You see what I have to work with here. Well, thanks, Estrella. Roll call. We have Kill Snap. Over here we have Bo Bitch. Over here we have Baby Girl. Over here we have Red Coyote. Up here we have Robot. It's an acronym, which I'll figure out some other day. Oh, it took me a second. I was like, what female character there? But yeah, I remember. In fact, I kind of forgot that I need to finish basically just her hair. But yeah. Some darkening in and texture on the ground and stuff like that. But yeah, commissions. They are, they take priority. The metallic lady. You know, I kind of created this design such as it is, just on a whim. But the more I kind of think about how I'm going to incorporate her into the second issue of my comic, the more I kind of like her, and I like drawing her, and it's just fun, and so it's Pookie. What was it you said about her the other day that I wrote down as like, I like it as a tagline for her? Like, violent and beautiful, something like that. See, there she is again with her group of fellas. There she is again there. I'm searching through all my papers. Yeah, it's something like that. I've got the gosh dang. Like, did I not even separate it from the? No, I did. Can't believe I'm sitting here flipping through all my pages and I can't find the dang rough sketch where I wrote it down. Oh yeah, here's kind of the original. Whatever, I'm just wasting time here. My drawing area wasn't such a... And no, I know what it was. When I do these initial sketches, the blue line sketches, kind of like I'm doing for the one I'm working on now, I always keep them, and I hand wrote something on the one for this that was kind of a funny tagline that she had come up with. I can't, I've got it here somewhere. Yeah, it was written on the front, but that's okay. It'll turn up somewhere. Turn up. Stab.
things that add up to make shoppers never compromise.
Hey, she's got like liquid metal body coating, so she kind of just does her own nails. She just kind of commands them to go whatever shape she wants, which, you know, save a lot of time. Well, thanks, Addie. I know I do some weird stuff that's bordering on stuff that you wouldn't normally interact with, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd like to see someone in that golden body sheath. That would be a thing.
In 2018, we immediately knew we needed a great supplier for non-dairy milk alternatives, and Bristol McGrath.
Yeah, egg. I don't work on weekends, fortunately, so.
The service is unmatched. Every time if there's any issue at all, we talk.
Well, honestly, I've kind of gone back and forth, Ms. Addie. It could go either way, like a shiny gold metallic or a silver. Since my stuff is in black and white, it kind of doesn't matter. But one of these days I'll probably get something colored, and then I'll have to decide definitively for sure. But I kind of like both options, and so I haven't decided, but I don't need to decide yet because it doesn't matter yet. And one of the reasons I'm thinking of making her gold is because the other guy, if I can find it, the other guy on the team that's with her, he's got metallic skin too, and I see him as silver. So him silver, her gold, just to kind of separate them. But of course, the idea of them both being silver kind of makes them twinners. I don't know. Again, I don't need to decide right now because it doesn't matter. Yeah, you know, cosplay, she wouldn't have to have hyper detailed anatomy like I put on there. It just basically like just a gold bodysuit on like someone with like hyper attention to super fitness and to pull off the ridiculous comic book body anatomy. See, this is almost what she could look like. There's like a gold kind of anatomy thing. How about that? Yeah, claws on par for sure. Todd, what do I think of Kelly Jones stuff? I'm going to be a little blasphemous and say that I've never particularly cared for it. I can see the artistic skill, absolutely. There's no doubting that. But it doesn't, you know, particularly make me, like, I won't pick up something because he drew it. They had that, that Dracula book that I think Matt Wagner wrote it. And I almost picked it up, but I'm like, I don't like his art enough to pay that kind of money. But, I mean, he's really good, obviously. Yeah, very talented. That Weird Anatomy where he'd like put in all these weird extra like cancerous tumor looking shapes that are in like the characters like rib cage and stuff like that. I'm like, I get it. It looks kind of interesting, but wow, it's just. Oh, shit. I like the Phantom of the Opera, the Andrew Lloyd Webber. I didn't love the movie, but I did like listening to the like years ago my parents had it on like cassette tape and we'd listen to it all the time. I've seen it once live. Obviously, you know, not the original cast. And you know, the reason I didn't like it is because I thought that they miscast the Phantom so poorly, so bad in that movie, the movie adaptation. Everything else looked exactly correct, but was it Gerard Butler as the Phantom? No. What sequel was there? To the play or to the movie? I had no idea. I've never heard of that. Maybe there's a reason I never heard for it. It's because it's terrible. Uh, That's not a story I necessarily want to see. The clips look like Christine is ovulating the whole time. Wow. Well, I think my brain is just done drawing for the night, so I think I'll be done with this. Okay, I'm gonna be done for now. But this is kind of what we're getting here. It's gonna be a double page spread. Like a front cover and back cover. All right, I'm shutting it down. Yes, Addie, you should probably sleep.